How's it going, everyone? This is David from TSTP Studios. Just wanted to go over a bit of my 3D printing journey. I wrote a whole script and somebody has to hear it. Alright, so I got into 3D printing about 2 or 3 weeks ago. As you can see, I have my 3D printer back here. It's a FlashForge 5M. I bought it on Amazon. I got it on sale. It was like $280 shipped. And I always kind of wanted to do 3D printing. I've seen a lot of 3D printers, and my kid had one at school, so I was like, cool, let's go. So I bought the printer. I didn't know much about 3D printing, but I know computers and technology. I jumped in, I waited for it, and while I was waiting for it, I kind of sat around and looked up all the videos I could find, looked up tutorials, looked up what I would need, and it arrived at my house the next morning, the FlashForge box with all the packaging, everything stuffed inside of it, and I was like, this is going to take a minute just to get put together, but it was kind of already put together. You just had to take out the packaging holding everything in place and then remove a few screws. I plugged it in. I read the manual, went through getting the filament put in. For the filament, I kind of grabbed whatever. Pull this part up. Yeah, that's my script. I'm reading this. I don't want to freehand this because I suck at that, but here is my order. So I bought this on April 26th, arrived April 27th. I bought this filament with it, and I also bought this filament with it because I wanted to do glow in the dark stuff, and gray, I figured I could use that for my prototyping. So I went ahead and went with that. Then I bought the enclosure kit because I did not know that I would need it, but after a few days I did need it. But back to the script. After I got it, I got everything set up, had TinkerCAD, wrote my name down real quick. It wasn't anything pretty. It did the job. I put it on the sheet. I realized you have to put something underneath it or else you're just going to get a bunch of letters printed out. I still liked it. So it took 15 minutes to print. I had to use the USB because I didn't want to take many chances on it yet or doing anything to screw up the printer before I even got to print it to make sure it worked. Yeah, everything went through quick, and I mean, honestly, I've had harder times teaching people how to save to PDF in Adobe Acrobat. Orca slicer setup, that one was real simple. To select the nozzle, select my printer make and model, select the connection options for my wireless. I checked my printer's IP, entered it into Orca Slicer, and it got everything figured out. Transferred all my stuff to the printer from there going forward, and that was a lot easier. So now I don't even have to turn around. I wish they had an option to push the clear button, because after your prints are done, you do have to push a button to clear the print. And that one I did not like too well. I'll figure something out with that. Probably do something with a Raspberry Pi or look up Reddit, see if there's a mod. I ended up just using some Black Overture PLA filament that I ordered, and then I ended up getting the glow in the dark, and I used the glow in the dark filament to try to do a Raspberry Pi case, because that was my whole reasoning behind this purchase. I have like some Raspberry Pi projects. This is a Pi Zero with a monitor that accepts HDMI connection on it. I'm trying to make a case for that. It has Kali Linux running on it. I like to do a little bit of penetration testing. This is my 4B with a PoE hat on it, and I have a touch display that I'm hooking up to it. So that was my whole deal, though, is I wanted to kind of make some Raspberry Pi cases. Didn't turn out too bad. No, that's a lie. This is not my first case. This is one prototype of it. The light's probably not going to show it very well because it's glow in the dark. Now this is my very first case that I printed. Hopefully that shows a little better. It's ugly as hell, but it worked. It was hard to get the device inside of it. It just kind of gave me a good starting point to work off of. Tried those, worked on them, made iterations. Well, I've kind of got addicted to putting magnets and stuff, so I'm working with that, but that's something for another video. After a few days, that's when I ended up getting the enclosure kit, though. because I did not like the sound. I could turn this thing on and go to bed and you can hear it clear as day, especially the spool when it would tie up because I was using the default spool holder. I had to upgrade from that. So I had that, got the kit. I was kind of hesitant about doing anything with it because I saw how much of the filament it was going to use, and because I didn't know how it worked, I didn't know how the usage was, I didn't know it was measured in kilograms and showed you in grams in Orca Slicer. I figured it all out, looked up some other Reddit threads where they were showing how you can reduce the infill, and you can make the infill down to lightning and lower the percentage of it. So I did that, was able to print it, and as you can see, I mean, there's kind of a glow in the case. I love that. I would hate it if it was all covered up. And then I have some modifications I'm actually making to the enclosure. Made it smaller, kept it see-through. That looks awesome compared to having that all dark and not showing anything. Printed it out. It took probably 18 hours. I think the printing was the easier part of that enclosure kit because that chain, the drag chain, was just confusing. Their video didn't explain shit. Yeah, I mean, the video didn't explain anything. The manual didn't explain anything. But there are a lot of helpful videos on there, and I'm going to be linking to those in the description as well because they really did help save my ass on this whole install. I couldn't figure out how to get the filament sensor to release the hoses. Actually, my script has all my gripes, so let me jump back to that. The adhesion issue, I mean, you wash the plate, I found out about that if you just throw it in soap and hot water, it's a good way to clean the plate, so that one wasn't an issue. The spool holder in the video is crap. If you're not going to use it as well, it's useless and it takes a lot more time to print and takes up a lot of filament. I cut off everything of their spool holder and just kept the bracket needed to connect the filament sensor and the drag chain to it. I'll be putting the link to that as well in case anybody wants to use it. I ended up getting these rollers, which work very well too. I mean, I don't have any issues with them. The only time I ever see anything happen is if there's like a bad kink inside of the spool itself, and in which case it will just pull it all the way off, even the rollers. And that's user error, that's not filament error, printer error. But I got that. I got everything put on. I finally figured out the drag chain issue. I figured out the issue with the filament sensor and how to get the hoses off. I figured out the 9th link in the chain, and that was just nonsense. And I'm happy with the result, but I feel like that was a lot of wasted filament, and there's a lot of missing elements to that that could make it a great enclosure. So I said screw it, and I made that part of my mission along with my Raspberry Pi mission, was to just improve this to make it personalized for me. That is my camera, and it's on top of the printer. I can see everything that happens in there. And I feel like that's a much better solution than having it like over here in this corner where you can see more and inside, but I didn't feel a need for that. So instead, I went ahead and made the door cam. Door cam sits right on the door. I 3D printed some new door hinges that have a camera mount on them, and also some pieces that can move around with it. Like you buy the enclosure kit, it tells you where you're putting your camera on your printer. I didn't like that at all. I have my door cam. I have my main cam, which should be showing up there. And then I have my spool cam, which shows me if my spool comes off, because like I said, when there's a bad enough kink in it, it will pull it off. I would be in my bed and some nights I just hear and you could hear it unkinking itself a few times, then you'd hear it pulling it. So I added all these cameras, and I feel like that gives me a better benefit than the other cameras. And on top of that, I mean, I bought 2 of these cameras for the price of one of their cameras on the enclosure kit. Printed out the parts myself. Let me close the cams real quick. So this is my TinkerCAD and some of the modifications I've made. This is my handle for my top plate, so that way I can mount one camera or a ring light. I widened the handle because I did not like their handle at all, and if I'm gonna buy stuff and print it out with my own money, my own filament, my own device, I'm putting my shit on there. I'm not giving you your branding on my shit. This is my latest edition. Yeah, TSTP Studios. My printer's name is the Money Printer because it's going to print me some fucking money. That's the Money Printer. This is my new enclosure that I am making for it. It is just ripping them off, but I hated their connection system. So the way that their connection system is it's I still have the little things in there because I didn't feel like going through all of TinkerCAD to rip it out. But they use little clips that go inside, and when you print in lightning and with lower infill, you're going to miss out on a lot of that. So when I connected it, I immediately started having parts cracking off from it. And I said that would work better with magnets because they already use the magnets on the bottom. And then I didn't like their FlashForge name being all over. Currently, it's on there right now. I made a front plate that goes underneath it that has my branding on it, but I thought that's not enough because it still shows theirs. But I didn't want to make it to where if you sell your printer or you want to give it a different name, maybe you have multiple businesses and you're running multiple channels and you don't want to have the same name. I don't know. Whatever the issue is, now you have a magnetic plate. Comes right off, goes right on there. And I mean, just to show it's actually, throw it right up. Clips in. And then if you really want to secure it, it does go in a little further so you can kind of make it a little bit more permanent. You'll need a knife to get that out of there. I also, if you can see, there's lights going all around this thing. I love LED lights and these LED strips, especially with how cheap they're becoming now. And as you can see at the bottom, magnets, but also magnets on the side. So that way, it just clicks. You don't have to worry about all the nonsense of it. It just clicks. And I'm probably going to end up printing a third version because I can already see changes I want to make. Another change I made to this was originally there's like a little bit of a lip, and I'm going to see if the camera can pick that up. There's a little lip right there. That's where your top plate goes. Also, very good demonstration of how well that mount works. That's the camera. That's the glass. I can add another one on there if I want to. It has that lip for it. Okay, cool, but I want to mount lights inside of my printer. So I put the lights around there, and you can see it makes it all bright and shiny. And the lower infill, the lightning infill, it really did make it glow. So I kind of wanted to stick with that, but I don't like how I can see all my lights. Anybody that deals with LED lighting knows there's that little, you can see the gap. You can see between the LEDs, and that's one of the most annoying parts when you're trying to hide it. That was one of my biggest pet peeves, was being able to see it, and I think it's not properly diffused is what they call it. I didn't want to see those. That is another part of my design that I brought into it, is I put the lip on. So underneath, you can mount your light. You can put your light here, put a L bracket for the light on there, or L connector on there. Another part of my plan is also I want to extend these corners out right here. I want to extrude them out maybe to like right here so I get another inch or two of space. Extend out the corner guards. I want to extend those out. Because right now, I have this one is printed in low infill and lightning as well, so it's very brittle and small, but you can see through it. And I like that part, but you also have the metal behind it, so you can't see the lighting. So what my goal is there is I want to extrude these out to give it a little bit more space and make a hollow line in there to be able to put lighting through there. And have it to where you bring the lighting in through the back. and run it around, and you can run it all through your entire case, even through the bottom, make a skirt that goes on that kind of looks like the top, route it through the whole bottom piece, make it all magnetic. So that's kind of what I'm working towards, if anybody gives a shit. But back to the topic, that's where I kind of went with everything, because I don't like that enclosure kit. It was okay if I didn't plan on doing anything and I was just like, hey, I got a 3D printer, let me go and jump on printables or Thang all day and print out everything everybody has. But I want to build stuff. Like, when I first saw my print, my mind just felt like I saw the atom bomb or the car or the Wright brothers watching a plane take off. It was like, you can build whatever you want to an extent. And that's where I'm kind of taking it. So I have this right here. That's a camera mount screw. So I made that. I can mount my camera here, which I already have. I can mount a ring light up there, which I did before, but it shines too much on the camera, so I moved that. This is another camera mount. So I kind of ran with the whole camera mount system. I'm going to change that to some sort of locking system, because it kind of puts a lot of stress on these and they don't last very long. I made a whole array of different things for them for different sizes depending on what I need them for. If I'm going ring light and cameras, I'm using these big chunky ones. My bracket, or my door hinge, that's my door hinge, to replace the one that comes from them. So now you get a camera screw on it. The thickness really holds it in there. That's how the door cam's being held on. And then this is actually on the door cam, holding the camera in place. This is my handle that I still need to print out and put on there. I also added screws in there because why not? It's extra. I can put more stuff in. Yeah, so that's kind of been where I went with TinkerCAD and with the FlashForge 5M and with 3D printing in general. But overall, the experience has been, from a beginner perspective, I'd say this has been one of the easiest things to get into in a long time, is just going and setting up this device from literally the moment the box arrived and I brought it inside the house to when I had my first print completed was under 30 minutes. And within an hour, I was able to make multiple things from TinkerCAD and combine them together and make things that use something. Like they were useful to me. So I ended up buying all of this. I have my PET G. I still haven't used that yet. The orange filament, I used all of that. That's gone. I use that for the actual kit, and then I printed out all of my accessories for the kit with that. So I'll probably order some more of that later on, but that was good. I ordered more rollers because these rollers are awesome, and I'm not going to use the spool holder because it's shit. So until I find another one, this will be it. I bought a 0.25 millimeter nozzle. Tried it. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I know I'm going to need it for my Raspberry Pi stuff, but as far as just using it for regular things, I don't think I'm going to need it just yet. It does print very small and tiny though, so I like that. Bought the PEI sticker sheet bed. That one I really do like. The bed I have now is the default one that comes on it, and I wanted something that wasn't going to have the texture on the bottom, just a straight, flat, smooth finish. I don't know why I said that, but it works out well. Just clean it, throw it back in. I'm going to start using that again later on just to get some cleaner prints out of things. I bought silver spool because why not? Yeah, that's better. And I haven't tried that yet, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a try over the weekend. I believe, yeah, it's the same picture. This is my most recent purchase. I bought all that, so all the new pieces I just showed you came from that one. And this is where I ended up. Granted, this is a bit older version of the video or of my whole layout in general, but now I decided to give this whole thing the due it deserves, because if I'm going to be printing for 6, 7, 8 hours at a time, I might as well let people see it. And on top of that, all the cameras really made it helpful for when I am doing, like, let's say I have a long print and I want to go to bed. Now I can go to bed. I don't have to worry about anything. I have a recording of it. It's live. Other people can look at it for me and let me know if something failed. I can look at it myself and see if it failed. And I can also go back through my video after it's done and see where it failed, and if I can find out why it failed and go back through the video or go back through TinkerCAD or Fusion and make the changes needed. And it came in handy. I saw yesterday that I had an issue and I was able to backtrack through my video and see it all. But yeah, the video for here, I was making some subscriber badges for TSTP Studios. So if you want a subscriber badge, subscribe, like the video, send us a comment. We'll reach out to you from the comments and see how you want to deal with it. We can ship it to you. Put your subscriber name on there. I'm gonna kind of try to do that like a YouTube thing, since I do just print random shit all day. So I'll start printing those out, and then once we get further along, the longer people are there, I'll make cooler badges for them. So it's like, okay, you've been a subscriber for 1 year, here's this badge, blah, 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 bullshit. But they'll have to ask for it, because I'm not just going to be printing random shit. But yeah, the whole experience has been fun. I am making quite a lot of things. I am talking with a lot of people. Went on the Reddit for 3D printing. Let me go ahead and take this. Oh yeah, and I'll be putting a lot of the links for the stuff that I found. Like I have a, let me zoom this part in if I can. So yeah, I got like orcaslicer.net, tinkercad.com, Autodesk if you want to use Fusion 360, the Enclosure Kit video, or the Enclosure Kit to purchase it, and then the Enclosure Kit video. And I'm going to be making a follow-up video soon, just going over the changes I made directly to this and how I made them and why I made them. And then I also am including the actual working spool holder that's supposed to go with this, because the issue with the bracket as well, let me finally close this down like I intended to. Another problem that it had was this little hole right here. That did not exist on the one that they gave you in the official file. So you are not able to mount your filament sensor because the electrical is not going through it unless you want to route it around, which is going to put stress on your cable. And so a lot of errors in that. A lot of people that helped me get through that with their videos. I'll be linking their videos in there if in case anybody else has any issues with these. You can feel free to send me a message or do whatever you need to do to get in contact with me. I'll walk you through how to do it. I'll make a video on how I did it if my other video doesn't exactly cover it all. But I really do love this whole experience. I love the whole 3D printing space and vibe and community, and I'm going to see where everything goes. But yeah, I just wanted to say my part on this whole situation and how everything came about for me and how I feel about it now. And that's it. So this is David again from TSTP Studios. I know this is probably my first face reveal as well, if you're not from Twitch or anywhere else where you see my face. So this is me. I'm going to start being more regular on here. You probably see all my spam content. It's not really spam, but while it's printing, I'm going to be filming this shit, man. You're going to see it. Whether you want to see it or not, it's going to show up in your feed. I like it. It's fun. So you'll be seeing more shorts. You'll be seeing more videos showing, TinkerCAD, how to start from TinkerCAD, how to make something in TinkerCAD. You'll be seeing some videos about the parts and accessories I'm making and how I made them and how you can start making your own. Because I feel like if you're in 3D printing and you spent all this money, make it your own. Don't make what people give you. Don't just find something and go, yeah, this is perfect, print it. No. We're at a place now where they're giving you the clay mold to say, like, here's how I made it, and you can make it and form it and go, I think this looks better. You know, oh, you made this unicorn, maybe the horse could have 15 horns. Whatever. Don't just be simple and take it. But that's going to be kind of the whole part of that. And this isn't going to be my whole thing. As you can see, I still have my Raspberry Pi projects. I'm still going to be doing some vibe coding and showing off some other projects I have. I have a real big, fun web app that I'm going to be working on that somebody gave me some inspiration from on Reddit. And I feel like that's going to be an amazing trick to pull out, because once you see that, you'll understand why I made it. But keep tuned. Check us out. Like, subscribe. We're on TikTok now. We're on Facebook. We're on X, still spamming people. We're on Reddit. We're on LinkedIn. So, yeah. Send the messages. Follow the videos. Watch some shit. Stick around. Comment. I read all the comments, as detrimental as it is, and I respond and I look at your page and I'll see if I can find shit that I want to subscribe to as well. But thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. Happy Friday. TGIF. Spread love. Be happy. Positivity. Catch you guys later.